Hi everyone, a very good evening. Hi Abhi, hi Anubhav. I'm great. How are you, Abhi? Hi Abhishek. Hi Sanjeev. Hi Abhijit. So, so I hope everyone did install VS Code, and yeah. Assignment as in Abhi, I did not get your point. Hi Sauvik. These kind of things. So there are assessments with each chapter associates it, but the thing is, ki, so I think first thing was very theoretical, but coming on moving ahead, we'll see certain kind of assignments, but you'll feel that abhina because we have not done certain things. Sorry, stop. क्या दे रहा है? Acha, function, right? So see, I mean, this assignment is also asking about function, and you truly do not understand function as of now. So, like some of the assignments, when you are able to comprehend these things, uh, yeah. So these are the assignments that you see, right? I mean, these are your for practice, but once you are comfortable handling them, then you can do it, right? So you can just go to this section and have a look at it. Avijit, since I'm not an admin, but I'll raise this point to yours. I saw that even today my request also got accepted. So maybe you sent it just now, or like you have been there for a while. I see today a few students got added up there. So okay, I can raise your request there, and I asked them to create like the group was I got accepted today to your community group, WD2404, right? No, this is yeah. I asked them, right. So a lot of students got Anubhav. A few students already got like made sent the request and got accepted. So I don't know how you got that link. Like some of the students are there in that batch, and this is for our particular cohort, right? So it's not a general WhatsApp thing. It's for your batch, for your module only. Mm. So then I don't think that they'll be talking about, like, it's your group, right? So whatever you talk about, Abhi, so that will be the case. You haven't received. Uh, I'm not sure. So who are the people in that group? Because there are certain people in that group. Uh, it has a number of people there. Currently, I see 12 members. So who are those people? I mean, their numbers are coming on that group, but yeah. Then maybe you joined a group related to a different thing. So that group is called WD2404, and there's my name written on it. I mean, you can like you can send a request to this new one as well. Okay. So I'll ask the team to get you the details of that group. Anand, actually, since I'm not an admin now, so it is not allowing me to share the link as well. So, like, is there anyone present in the class that who joined that group? How did they join? So Abhishek, can you please share that link with everyone? Hi everyone. Good evening. Okay. So if you can share how you joined, so everyone will be able to, comply with the thing and yeah, join the group. Hi Pooja, good evening. Yeah, so the link has been shared by Avijit. Is that the same group, Avijit? Or Abhishek, can you confirm as well? I can, okay. So I can pin it then. I can pin your message. So everyone can have access to this thing. Okay, now you guys can send requests to this is a group for your, like, the group for your this current batch. So whatever discussions you like to have in general about the curriculum that is being taken care of and all that, right? So okay, so the admins will be, yeah, so admins will do the approval. So yeah, okay, great, Shyamal. So yeah, I mean, others will also join in. Okay, so I think that is sorted now. People can access this and, I mean, just wait for a day or two. Your request will be approved by the admins, and then you will be in the group. Okay. And this is a group that normally I use for, handling your course related doubts, and at times I give you certain homeworks, so you can submit your these kind of groups, like link to your homework and all that, right? So this is the place for our communication beyond the classroom. Okay. Okay, moving on. Can we discuss, like, are there any doubts from the last session, which someone has or something like that? Is there anything from the last session that someone wants me to take again, or something that they did not get? A few more no's or yeses will be great, so that I know in the general consensus about the class how people are feeling. Okay, so can we proceed with today's material? If there are no doubts. Acha, before proceeding to the today's material, how many of you did that command prompt thing? Those who are not aware of command prompts, I asked you to go through that video, right? So let's do a quick recap of that, है ना? So that some basic commands are clear with us and we are able to do a certain things. So imagine I want to create a folder with the name of demo, and inside that folder I'll create a text file. Okay, so what will be the set of commands for that? And that text file is called anything. Let's say we call it test.txt. So that is the file name that we want to create, and yeah, inside a folder called demo. So how can we do that? Can someone write me a set of commands for this? Come on, people. What will be the set of commands for this thing? Okay, cool. Make the IR and then the folder name. How do we create that file? Can someone tell me that as well? So, what is this? So, I shared this screen down. Let me share this entire screen. Yeah, I mean, Abhi, I'm not the admin, right? So the admin people will take care of it. Okay. I will raise this request that a lot of students have sent the request there, and your request will be approved. Okay, that I can do for you. Yeah, cool. So let's do CMD and do this thing first, so that you guys have certain idea. Okay, is my screen visible to everyone? Yeah, okay. So the font and everything is visible, right? So first of all, let's say so we do something like let's say I want to create this file to on my desktop, right? So first of all I need to change it to desktop, change directory, that is cd, right? So I'm in my desktop. Then what do I do? Then I create a new directory. So folders are in general called directories here. So I'll write something like mkdir, and let's name this thing demo cmd, right? Then what I need to do, I need to move to this demo cmd, because I am creating something inside this thing, right? So see, now here you can see the path is getting added, right? First of all I got to desktop, now I got into demo cmd. So suppose if I want to write echo, this is the demo file to be added in the folder, right? And let's say we call this file as test.txt, and if I click enter, right, so we'll see, did we got this thing? here some place demo. Dekho, we got this folder, right? We got this thing here, demo cmd, and inside this we have a file as well, test.txt, and inside that file, see, I added that text as well, right? So I hope everyone is cool with this much of cmd. Now we did see that, okay, how we added certain directories, how did we change certain things, and how we got to this thing. Yeah, this is retro styled, but you should be knowing this, right? It is very basics. So since even if you once we start to use VS Code now, there is a certain degree of command line commands that you need to do, and also now once you get into the habit of coding really fast, you will feel that typing is faster than using mouse again and again. So yeah, once you get to that stage, you will feel that way. So there everything can, even in VS Code, and everything can be done using mouse as like not the mouse, just the keyboard, right? Even once you will see that command to create the file. Okay, here is everything. Echo. Yeah, I mean, you will. I mean, just give it some time. You will definitely. I'll try to give my 100%. And yeah, you guys also have to work for it, but then you'll get it. So this was the command. If you want, I can share this with you. If you want that, this is all I did, right? If you want, I can share this much command. You want that? Let's see if I can share it. Share. So here, if I share this thing, yeah, I mean, you can get away with this thing. You get the basic commands, right? So this link, I'll put it in the chat, and you can have it. Acha, yahan se please do not cut the thing. Please copy only. Yeah, you copy it with yourself, right? And then it will be with you as well. This, people just copy it from here, and then you'll have it. Do not cut it, otherwise it will get away from here. Okay. Okay, chalo, let's move ahead then. I hope this much is clear to everyone. And yeah, people, did you install VS Code? I hope everyone does had that by now. Okay. Chalo then. Okay. So in the last session, we discussed about the basics, that is what is programming, why we do programming, and these kind of things, right? And we discussed certain other things as well, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I explained to you that HTML is the skeleton, CSS is the dress sense or the makeup you put on to look better. And what was the JavaScript? What did JavaScript do? I told you that day. Can someone please reiterate that for me? The brain part. Very good, Souvik. So if we see these websites, right, even this Grow website, if you go to any website, you see based upon, you see this thing is that, okay, so the basic structure of this page is via HTML. The colors, patterns, how this thing looks, and everything is due to the CSS. But this part, that okay, if you click on this, what to do? Then if you do something like this, what to do? If you go to here, then what to open, right? So these kind of things are being taken care of JavaScript. So what is JavaScript actually? So it manipulates the data, it gives the action, it manipulates your website, on and on, right? Whatever you can, the interactivity, how you are interacting with the website, that is entirely taken care by JavaScript. Okay, that the structure is clear, but how you interact with everything, all the components and all, so that is being taken care by JavaScript. Achha, I told you that the JavaScript is the most popular language, right? Because it gives support and functionality to our structure. Not just support, it gives functionality as well to our structure. Yes, very good, Anubhav. So by JS, we can put in our logics as well, that okay, if I click on this thing, then you do this. If I type this, then you give me this result. Like even here as well, right? Let's see if we have Amazon.com. Right, if I go here, sign in and sign up. So if you write some random thing and you say continue, so there's a problem, right? There was a logic implemented. You see, there was a problem. We cannot find account with that email address. So there must be some sort of validation happening. Key this email should be occurring someplace, right? So all that functionality is being taken care by JavaScript. In HTML structure, so we basically gives the comments that okay, what this particular structure is handling and how it's being handled by JS. Okay, so that day I explained you that JS is the most popular programming language in the world, right? And the major reason for it is because it is very, like, it is easy to understand. Also, because most of the web is built on JS, so it becomes inherently popular because almost everywhere we find web-based applications and things, right? So that is why this becomes important. So I think almost 95% of the web is coded in JavaScript. 95% of the web is, it's a huge number, right? Almost every site you see, that is due to JavaScript. Okay, so see, what does it says? JavaScript is an interpreted high-level programming language frequently used to develop dynamic web pages. So see, there are certain small words. We'll have a look at it in each word in detail. Interpreted, right? So what do you mean by interpret? What's the literal meaning of interpret? Reading line by line. Very good. So JavaScript is like, even we read any English thing or any Hindi, English, any native languages that you know. So what do? Human brains work that way, right? We read one line and then our brain draws an inference for that line, right? Suppose you say Anubhav is a good boy. So Anubhav is a good boy. You read that line, your brain translate that into whatever language you are most comfortable with, and then you get the meaning of that thing. Similarly, I told you that, right, in programming we have statements. So statements are what? Statements are line by line instructions, right? So interpreted means it is executed. One line is read, then what's the meaning of it? It is executed, then we go on to the next line, then the next line, and so on. Okay, Anubhav, is it clear now? Interpreted not from previous version, like line by line statements were there in that code, right? For what is a program? Program is a set of instructions, and in those instructions we line by line statements that okay, you do this, then you do that, then and so on and so on and so on, right? So is it clear what does interpreted means? Okay, cool. So now basically in JavaScript, whatever is written line by line, it is executed. Each line is read. Whatever instruction is there, that instruction is done, and then we go on to the next line, and so on. That is like keep on going on and on and on. So that's how it works. Now we come on to the next line, that is high level programming languages. So programming languages have been normally divided into two types: HLL and high level languages, and that is low level languages, LLLs. So what are high level languages? High level languages are languages where there are certain keywords and terminology that matches with our general day-to-day English, like things like let, for, if, while. All these are English words, right? Everyone, I hope everyone must have encountered these words in their life without even knowing a single bit of programming, right? So since they are more like our day-to-day life, and we are else if else, right? So these we can correlate with these lines. What does these lines mean? And we have a better understanding. So these high level languages are meant to be written by humans so that it makes the process of coding easier. And what are low level languages? Low level languages are basically languages that are to be understood by machines. So here comes in the picture the concept of compilers. So see, what happens is, I told you that day, right? If I give order in French and that waiter does understand only Chinese, we cannot communicate, right? I am giving order in French and that waiter understands Chinese, so how it will work? So we need some sort of translator, right? Similarly, what does compiler do? It converts this HLLs into like low level and machine languages, and that is understood by like this thing, right? Computers, because computer understands only the languages of zeros and ones. है ना? So for JS, we have this thing called these browser engines that compiles and runs these things. So whatever JS is written, it is converted from its HLL form to a low level form, and then it is there, right? Computers are compiler to what? Uh, computers are programmed like machine that runs on different instructions, right? So computer is not our compiler. Computer has different levels of compilers which execute and run your instructions. So you might be using different programs written in different languages, right? Yes. It compiles instructions in order to understand what we are saying. So the browser engine, right? And since our computer does not has a browser engine, that is why in order to give that functionality to our computer, that day we installed Node.js, remember? So what does Node.js do? Node.js enables our system to understand JavaScript. So it is kind of acting as that translator for us. Okay, clear, everyone? These basics. Yes. Node.js is handling that thing for us. When there are certain other details, but like you in a broader way, it is handling the JS outside browser, because JS was understood only by browsers because they have JavaScript engines. But how do we run those kind of things in our VS Code or like in our normal CMD? For that, we need Node.js. Okay. Okay. So I think we frequently used to develop dynamic web pages. So what do you mean by dynamic? Dynamic in general means whatever is changing, right? So if I ask you a meaning of something, I do not ask from a coding perspective. I generally ask you from a like in literal terms. So dynamic is something that keeps on changing, right? And static is something that is constant. So earlier web pages used to be static. Like suppose if you were to read some blog spots or these kind of things, right? So if somebody has written some blog, so normally it wouldn't change over time, right? I don't know. Search box website. So they were like this, right? Static pages of web. Yeah, even that day, right? We saw that Sun's websites, right? So, yeah. So this is very like a static thing, right? I mean, the content, they have done something differently. The project is this. Browse the first website, sorry. So it is static, right? Nothing is changing in this. The content is fixed. Whatever we have, it is like static thing. But suppose based upon our these things, like even the Amazon we had, right? So based upon our action, the website is keep on changing, right? If we click on keyboards, we get new different page. If we click on some other thing, some other thing will come in, right? So it is not just constant, it is keep on changing based upon our actions, right? So this dynamic aspect, it is being provided by the JS. Okay, so clear what JS is and why it is all important. Okay, now moving ahead, So the need of JavaScript. Why JavaScript is popular? So versatility. So JavaScript can be used for both writing your websites as well as writing the server side of things. Right. So that day I explained you the concept of request response cycle between client and server. Right. So you can write whatever is in front of our eyes, that is front end, and you can even code the back end part in JavaScript. So it makes it very cool that you can learn both the aspects without any problem. And right, so again, browser compatibility. So like almost all your browser, independent of whether you use Brave or Mozilla or Edge or Firefox, right, anything you use, that same website that is coded in JavaScript, it is being able to run on all the browsers. So you need not worry that okay, that's a specific browser you need to run my website. So it gives you a lot of versatility and browser compatibility as well, that all the browsers will work for your JavaScript websites. Now, ease of learning. It is, the syntax is relatively simpler and it is a high level language. So it is, and even with newer versions of JavaScript, it is being made easier and easier for human use. Then it is a large community because a lot of people are working with web based things. And since it is a lot of people are, I mean, entire web is on 95% of web is on JavaScript. So there's a lot of people doing the things. And then you have communities that I showed, that Stack Overflow I showed you, right? Then again, JavaScript is being maintained because it is being so widely used, so it is also properly maintained, and new features are kept on being added every year or 2 year. So that is also the things, and then it allows us to handle multiple things in same time. So that all are the benefits of JavaScript. Okay. Not every time all pages. Yeah, okay, okay. So I mean, again, some part of the website will change, entire website will change. That will depend upon the thing, right? So I pinned WhatsApp group का link. I somebody said and I pinned that. किसी ने share किया था, right? I pinned that as well. I don't know why it is gone. Somebody shared that link. Yeah. Yeah, that was your link, right? I'll again pin it. That's the link. You can see it was already pinned as well. Anyway, it is pinned here. People, you can access that. Okay. Abhishek, it is pinned here. You can directly access. It is accessible to everyone. But some part of the page will completely depend on JS logic only. So that is why again, it is something that you will understand in a better way in like a few while. In some while you'll be able to understand it. The thing is that we have different kinds of website. Again, JavaScript is a huge umbrella. Inside that we have different methodologies and processes that we follow to build our websites and pages, right? So you will see a thing where the entire web page is refreshed. Then you will see certain things where only a part of page is refreshed. But all of this is happening via JavaScript, that is for sure. Okay, there are different techniques and different nomenclature for these things, but the core thing behind all of this is JavaScript. So that is one thing that you should understand for now. Okay, Anubhav. Okay, let's move ahead then. So basically, I explained you the concept of this thing, this request and response. That once you click on this thing, a new request is being sent. First of all, what happens? This address is translated using DNS. Then to that address, our request is sent. And then based upon our request, our response is sent back again to us. Right. So that house is in general the yeah, not able to join. You'll send a request and then some admin will approve, right? You will be able to send a request, then it will be based upon admin approval, and then you will be able to join. Okay. Acha. Okay. Let's get back. I tend to lose chain of my thought. What was I saying? Service time response cycle, right? So everyone gets that, right? How our website is rendered? Request response, है ना? That we send that, type in that address. Asynchronous means. Achha, what is the meaning of synchronous? Not necessarily stable. Synchronous means in sync and like similarity of triangles or something you must have studied, right? Not adaptive. So in sync means that processes are uh, lined one after another. So once one is done, then we move on to the next process. Once second is done, then we move on to the next thing. Like in sync things are happening. Like in very aligned way, your vehicle is traveling. First you reach from A to B, then B to C, then C to D, right? But asynchronous means that multiple things are happening similarly. I mean, like say key you are able in JavaScript, execution is in line by line, right? So first step is pick up water. Second step is add to the bowl. Third step is light up the gas. So you will condition like do these things step by steps. Pick up the glass, put the water, then light up the gas. But in asynchronous, you can do multiple things together. That you can pick up the water, do your adding thing, and light up the gas. All these can be done simultaneously. So that is asynchronous. Okay. Acha, let's get back. So like what I was saying, request response cycle. Everybody was clear with that, right? So let's move ahead and then see two kinds of architectures that are very popular. And let me open the Jamboard. Okay. So there are two kind of architectures that we see normally in our web pages. One is our CSR. That's an acronym from client side rendering, and another one is SSR, server side rendering, right? Acha. So before we move ahead, can someone please is video ka PDF? Everybody does have access to this thing, right? Your grow.elma better website, you have access to this material. It is present there only. Acha, anyway, so what does render means? What is the literal meaning of render? Can someone tell me? In Hindi, it's similar to dikhana or like display. Okay. Process. Provide. Yeah, provide is a better term. Process is not. Like to show a request. Translating, nah. Provide, give, right? So even if you see the render meaning, right? It says to provide or give, right? So it means, so now as the name now becomes self-explanatory, the providing work is done at the client side, then it is called client side rendering, and once the providing work is done on the server side, it is called server side rendering. Okay. Now providing what and doing what, not approval. To make provide for to like our like whoever provides for the family, right? gets the expenses and do everything, right? Father, mother, whoever may be, in different cases. So they provide for the thing, right? They render everything at our home. So whatever is in your home, mostly it is provided by your parents, right? So they are the renderers for your whatever thing that you have at your home. Okay. Acha. This client side rendering and server side rendering. So there are two ways in which things are done. So what happens? Let's first have a look at the client side rendering. So in the client side rendering, if we go to this thing, we have an image there, right? Now this server side. So once suppose we request a website. Okay, from here you request something. Okay, and then that request is sent to the server. Acha, what is a server? First of all, we have been talking for server each time. Everyone understands server, right? What is a server actually? The information is stored. How does it look? Have you guys seen this server racks? I mean, this is what our typical server looks like. I mean, these are all our CPUs, and they are connected and stored in a controlled environment. Basically, this is a huge machine. So whatever desktop you have at your home now, so these are like multiple desktops connected in series and parallel and different kind of architectures, and these are able to store our information, process our things. These are like very powerful machines. Nothing else is server. Like server, you can think of it as a very strong CPU. Okay. Client request. So what happens is here is in CSR. So your client, that is you on your desktop or your mobile. So you can do this. This is your, let's say, okay, my drawing is not too good, at least on Jamboard. Okay, so you sent a request that, okay, I want, let's say this website is what I want, www. let's say example.com. Then this is converted via DNS to a physical address, like an IPv4 address, and then here we have a server, right? This is our server, like this kind of big machine that I showed you. Based upon this request, so this will send us what? It will send us the HTML file, the CSS file, the JS file, right? So all these three files will be sent. Let's say we send them in a packet or a bundle, and then that bundle is distributed by this computer. And then this computer, what it does, basically, this is your, let's say this is your basic screen. Based upon your HTML, it creates a structure that, okay, this is the website looking like, it has these many blocks. Then CSS paints it with some colors and font formatting, and then ultimately the JS, let's say, makes this, there's a button here, it adds this functionality to this button, right? So all this work is being done at the end of this client side, right? So this is client side rendering, because all this work that, okay, HTML, CSS and JSS combining and then painting the entire page is done using the client's resources. So client resources means that your desktop or your computer's RAM, your memory, your hard disk, your cache. So all that is used, and if you get website using this kind of phenomena, that is called client side rendering. Okay. So is this thing clear to everyone? What is client side rendering? Like even this website, right? If you see here, things are not getting, if I click on something, it is not reloading thing, right? It is only changing here only. If I get to this thing, you see this reload thing is not happening, right? Everything is happening here only, and this, it takes a certain while and then it does the job, but it is done here only. This page is not being reloaded. But if you look something at like this website, if I click anywhere, see this refresh thing, have a look at that. It keeps on changing, right? So it is being, the request is sent from my computer to the server, and then server sends me the entire thing. So everyone is able to spot the difference. All the pressure comes on client desktop in client rendering, correct? Which is render friend HTML. So first of all, like HTML structure is being taken care of, and then CSS paints the styles, and then the application of JS occurs. That's the order in which things occur. Hana? Okay, so this is what I mean. Again, single page applications are again a variant where we are doing client side rendering. That is why they are not so good with SEOs and all. I mean, this is the advanced thing, but let's not confuse people who are new to all this with single page and multi page. But once we get to this thing, we'll be able to do this, right? Once you learn React, then I mean, let's not confuse people, because I mean, a lot of people here are entirely new to this thing. So let's get the basics first, and then as we move on, then we'll build on these things. Okay, acha. Now, what was I saying? So this is our client-side rendering, that whatever I want, all the files, rather than sending me the entire thing, the files are sent, and then these files are being accessed by my computer, and based upon whatever instructions are present in these files, a website is painted for me, and that is client-side rendering. Okay, cool, everyone. Anyone has any issue with this thing? People, some response would be great. How do I know you are getting it or not? Sir, a question. Okay, please shoot, Anubhav. PDF for device. This material is there, na, Abhishek? I showed you, na. Material to access hai aapke paas. You have the entire thing. So I mean, the page wouldn't be very functional. How would it attain all that functionality, right? And there are certain checks and bounds for this. That how, I mean, there are a lot of checks and bounds which make sure that you receive the entire package or not, and all those things are there, right? So who was saying server is not, server is Akash, server is providing data, but server is providing us with a raw kind of thing, that it is not providing us with the entire thing process. So HTML, CSS and JS, what I told, HTML gives your page a structure. So HTML say your page is divided into like sections, subsections and all. Then CSS you apply, then you say that, okay, this section is blue, this one is yellow, this one is red, and so on, right? So then this is CSS, and then if you have a button here, and on clicking this button, you let's say go to a different page, this activity is provided by JS, right? So the server provides you with all the codes, but this code is interpreted on your side of the machine. So data is being provided, right? Data is being provided, but rather this unprocessed data. That processing is done on your side. Hence the name client-side rendering. That may be the case, packet launch, but then you see an error kind of thing on your web page. 404 page not found, and these kind of things, right? So it's not that one file is missing, that entirely a different thing, right? Okay. It's not that key, you get the part of it and part of not. I mean, even if that happens, you get a comprehensive error. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि you just get that small part of the error. Okay. So that is your client side rendering. Now let's move on to the next one, that is SSR. So SSR में क्या होना है? SSR, it is easier. What does I mean, your machine again, you're on laptop. You send your request from this to the server. Now, what happens is, so based upon your request, now it gathers all the files. Let's say HTML, CSS, and your JS. It does all the processing and provides with you with the final page. Rather than the code, it provides that, okay, what this page should look like. And then that page is being displayed on your screen. So you see all that processing now, HTML and CSS, how that page will look, how different look and feel will get. Is Sara processing, all the resources are used at server end. Right. So all that resources are being used at the server end of the thing. So your device does not need to possess a very strong what do I say, processing power and things like that. So even if your device is not that strong, all that complex processing is being done here, and then you get that thing. So here you get a page. There, what was the case? You were painting the page on the client side. Here, the entire painted page is being sent to you. So your resources are not being exhausted. The resources of server are being exhausted, right? And that is the benefit of it. Suresh, you can send the request, and maybe in a day or two you will be allowed to join. So basically in CSR we cannot. No. You are being provided with the code and everything, right? How that website should supposed to look. Your that structure is being sent to you. You cannot change that code. So the basic difference is server side rendering. All the resources are used from the server side, right? Jitna bhi resources hai, everything, it is used from the server end. Suppose whatever processing you need to do, whatever combinations you need to do, all that is done at the server end, and then the entire like finished good is sent, right? So whatever be your website, that entire website is being sent after finishing the processing at the server side. But at client side, what you get the raw materials, okay, and then you cook using your resources. So SSR is like you are ordering from Zomato and you get the entire cooked food. CSR is you're getting raw material from the market and then you are cooking it at your own home. Okay, is it clear now? What if there are failures in processing output on the server side? If it is failures, then you will get some certain sort of error codes. It will provide you with, like, there's a lot of handling as well. Servers are not just a very simple, very complex machines, and they have huge things, right? So there, what you can do, yeah, like 404 error, context not found, web page moved to a different address. ये जितने भी errors होते हैं, they do, like, if your request is not being taken care of properly, you will also be handled. There will be a graceful handling of all your errors. है ना? So यहाँ पर let's suppose कि your request there was a network failure, your request cannot reach it, so there are certain order of timeout is there. If certain in this much time you do not get a response from server, then you show out a timeout error that, okay, this packet did not reach the server. But if it reached server and then here there was some problem, then it can send some error response that, okay, this error 404 or some other error occurred. So then it can send these kind of errors as well. It also has dedicated error handling modules, load balancing modules. A lot of things are there. So that's see. So that's how it works. Okay. Okay, then I hope it is clear, everyone. Ki server side and client side rendering. Okay, and if somebody asks me which one is better, so it depends upon your utility and times. So at times we do not want to spend too much resources, so then we have like server side rendering. If we have want to, do not want to overburden the servers, then we have client side. Suppose if you are making one request, then it is fine. But what if like 1 crore people make requests same time at the same server, right? So then it would be problematic for that server, even though it is a strong machine. But even then, handling 1 crore or 2 crore requests at single moment, it becomes tough, right? So there are like different architectures being followed. A mixed match of these two strategies is being followed to implement these complex websites and everything, right? So I hope you get the idea. And yeah, that's it. Is okay. Moving ahead, what we can say is okay. Acha, what is a framework and okay, framework and library. So JavaScript frameworks. Sorry, frameworks. How do I tell it to you? Uh, let's assume that framework is basically you understand a frame, right? What is a photo frame? Photo frame is something that your photo is enclosed without this, like your picture is somewhere here, and then we have border and things like that, right? This is how a general photo frames look like. So your picture is enclosed inside the boundary of the frame, right? Similarly, in frameworks, what we have is that okay, we are using JS, but it has certain boundaries that it needs to follow certain rules being set by the framework. That is what are JS frameworks, that everything we are using JavaScript, but there are some imposed rules that okay, what you can do, what you cannot do, what are the some certain order of things. So once we are using JavaScript with a set of imposed rules, that is what a framework is. Okay, imagine that you are being called to a party. Hi Sarfraz, no worries. If you're late, you can view the recording, है ना? Yes, very good, Sahil. It is like that. That okay. It can imagine that you are going to a farewell party and you have a dress code. That okay, you are allowed to go to a farewell party, but the dress code is that men will wear black and women will wear red. So you're being allowed. Okay, you are a student of that college. That is why you're allowed. But there's a certain framework that only if you comply with these rules, that you wear red color dresses, ladies, and men wear black colored dresses, only then you are allowed. Otherwise you will not allowed, you are not allowed the entry in the party. So that is what a framework is. It, apart from your basic nature, it imposes a certain degree of rules, and that's how it is, right? So your some popular frameworks are your Angular, Vue. React is a library. So libraries are those things which allow you freedom, that okay, this is the book, how you want to use, like you, that is your choice. There are not certain set rules. Okay, but in framework there are certain set rules that you need to follow. You cannot go beyond that frame. Hence the thing framework. Is it clear, people? Framework, what are frameworks? Yeah, Angular is a framework for JS. But React is a library. Yeah, Express is a framework. Depends. So certain people who, I mean, that depends on the company that you are working on and the like what all previous work has been done in that respect. So if you are working on a company that has been using on some framework, then they based upon, yeah, as I was saying, right? So like they are like both can be used interchangeably as well, but libraries provide you a degree of freedom, that okay, you can plug and play different components and do more things. Frameworks are strict in that ways, but they are also more convenient to follow. So if you are like, if in a company there are a set of rules to be followed, so that way framework is better, right? That okay, this is the framework that everyone will coding inside this framework, and we all will follow this rule and pattern. But libraries are more open ended, they give you more freedom to do things. And it's like assembled desktop, right? So you can have different RAM as per your liking, or your different modem, or if you want a different kind of camera. And a framework may be good as well. Like even if you have a simple like a MacBook, so it's a framework kind of thing, right? You are fixed with the resources that you have, although it might be performing very well, but then you cannot change much about it. So based upon the company you will be working in, yeah, so you can say on similar lines that what you can wear, what you cannot wear, and all that is controlled in your private schools, right? In government schools it's more open ended. So I mean, just an analogy, but yeah, that's how it is. So based upon the company you'll be working in, what is their product line, or if suppose you are working on a new startup, they tend to use different things, try out new things. If you are working with a bank system, they were very strict about that. Okay, what technology we can use, and what all we are using. We are not changing their system too much. So banks and all, they do not change their sequence systems very frequently. Their interface and their backend technology and front-end technology almost remains same for years and years. But as you compare to normal startups or things like that, they frequently change their technology stack. So yeah, that is the difference. Okay. So now let's JavaScript engine we discussed that day as well. Okay, let's what do they have? Acha. So some things that we'll do today. Uh, Console we saw that day, right? How many? And this is the introduction. I think is from today only we'll do this thing. Coding will start from today. Don't worry. It was like you need to understand like certain things, how you are handling these things. It is important to understand. That is why it is there, right? Now we'll be beginning with the coding as well. And from the next part, like we have variables and all to discuss, so we'll do. Acha. One quick note: this console.log works with Node.js, but prompt and alert do not work because they work with browsers only. Acha, I'll show you the browser engine, right? Acha. Let me just I can open a new tab. Let's open a private tab. Okay. So if you inspect this thing, and you should write this kind of thing, 5 plus 5. See, it automatically says 10. 5 into 5. It automatically says 25. So if you are able to do this kind of thing, so you see the power of JavaScript engine. If you do not have capability to evaluate logic, then can you do this thing? Even something like this, right? Do you see the power of JavaScript engines? You just write normal. This is not just the like in any that we have this engine, so it is able to comprehend logic and do certain things, right? Otherwise, without a brain, can you perform these operations? No, right? So it is basically, engine is like the brain behind your browser that is handling all the operations and doing a lot of stuff, right? And so that is your JavaScript engine working for you. Then, as I told you, that certain things do not work with the VS Code, that is alert and prompt, right? So alert is something that you see, some like if I open this again, if you do not like although I suggest using VS Code, but you also have online JS compilers as well, which you can use. Yes, you can write JS code in browser. Difference is like certain features, that is, it is more based for JavaScript based, like, so engines are more based for your experience, how you are viewing your things in your browser, and Node.js is basically for your development things and not basically Java based things. See, so if you do something like this, and here you can do these kind of things. Console.log, and if you run it, see, it's here. Okay, and if you have this kind of thing, again, it is being shown here in the output, but in general, it is fine for this module. But once we go on to build like bigger projects and these kind of things, then VS Code is much preferred. We can use and single quotes. Acha, 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 haan. Single quotes, yeah, you can use either single quotes or double quotes. We'll discuss this once we discuss string in JavaScript. But since you asked, this, and this, these are three ways to describe strings in JavaScript. Okay. We are getting there. Don't worry, don't worry. We'll just user input. We'll get to that. Okay. Uh, so I hope they get this kind of things. Okay. Mm, so now, if you want, we can take a break now and then get back. What do you say? Alert is something you see on your screen. Console is where you console is like this specialized panel for you, right? I showed you this na console. So if you're consoling something in browser, you'll see that thing in here. But alert, see, alert comes where? In your this page, where main browser. Console is this dedicated panel. Alert comes on in your face, right? You have these kind of things coming up. You must have seen these kind of pop-ups. So that is your alert, right? Is it clear now? Console and alert. I mean, again, yeah, Shamal is right, but again, Shamal, this is certain things that are advanced, and I have not taught you at object and all. So I try to keep it simple for everyone to understand. Yeah, but yeah, you're correct. Okay. Yeah, like displaying error messages, displaying some warnings, something that might have been missed, or things like that. For a lot of purpose, you might use it. Okay. So can we take a break now? Or yeah. Okay, so it's 9:09. Let's meet at 9:20.